Do you remember when Visa cards first came out? You were used to paying with cash or with a check, and then a Visa came out. It was this weird payment system that you didn't understand. And she said, yeah, I remember that. Well, Bitcoin is just the next evolution of another payment system.
Brace yourself, Nakamoto was the foundation. What up, guys? It's your boy Nakamoto Crypto here, and today, after Hal Finney himself, or Gavin Anderson, or Mr. Adam Beck himself, we are just fascinated. People are just fascinated with the Satoshi character, Mr. Nakamoto himself. Who is he? People are always looking for somebody to point at and say, yep, it is him, guys. He left the crypto community so early that he became like a myth. He became like a mystery. Now here we got another Satoshi candidate. Satoshi Nakamoto candidate, Paul Le Roux this time. That's his name. Now this guy, he's currently in jail, guys. Out of all the Satoshi candidates, this guy he's pretty much the most gangster out of all of them. What he did is crazy. Now he plans to start a Bitcoin mining business after prison time. A possible Satoshi Nakamoto, the mysterious creator of Bitcoin, has been sentenced to 25 years in prison. Criminal mastermind Paul Le Roux told the judge that upon his release, he plans to start a business selling and hosting Bitcoin miners, claiming that his ASIC chip design will have an order of a magnitude faster at a Bitcoin mining than any current design, guys. So this guy is talking about modifying ASIC miners, making them so fast that he can mine Bitcoin faster than any miner out there. So for those of you who was saying that the last Bitcoin will be mined in the year 2140, watch out, because there is a genius in prison right now working on bringing that date closer and closer to where we currently are right now. Now, Paul Le Roux is a criminal mastermind whose biography made him a possible candidate for Satoshi Nakamoto, the founder of Bitcoin. Now, he has been sentenced to 25 years in prison by Manhattan federal judge Ronnie Abrams, having been in the US custody for almost 8 years now. So this guy has been in jail for the last 8 years. He pleaded guilty to crimes ranging from methamphetamine trafficking to selling weapons technology to Iran. Wow. Adding that he will be credited with his 7+ year in custody. The scope of severity of Mr. Le Roux's criminal conduct is nothing short of breathtaking. I have before me a man who has engaged in conduct in keeping with the villain in a James Bond movie, guys. So this guy is like a character. Somebody's writing a book about him right now as we speak. People are trying to make a movie out of this dude. He's like OG gangster, like Scarface. In a letter sent to the judge prior to his sentencing, Le Roux revealed his future plans. He said, if I am released by this court and by the court in the Philippines, that I plan to start a business hosting and selling Bitcoin miners, guys. Now, he was born in 24th of December 1972. This is his 1991 ID. This is what it currently looks like right now. So he added that I have a custom design for an ASIC chip that utilizes special optimization in the underlying computer code or algorithm known as SHA. I obtained this knowledge about the mathematical properties of SHA while working as a contractor programmer at GCHQ in London in the early 2000s. These optimizations have allowed me to create an ASIC chip design and therefore the ASIC miners that have an order of a magnitude faster at mining Bitcoin than any current design. To this end, I plan to pub my knowledge and skills to a better legal use. Wow, the criminal mastermind was born on December 24th, 1972 in Zimbabwe, formerly Rhodesia, but was raised in South Africa with a minimal formal education. He dedicated himself to studying computer programming and electronic interrogated circuit design, like chip design. This guy is specialized in chip designing, guys. His letter to the judge explains he added that a contract programmer, GCHQ, equivalent of the NSA, guys, he assisted law enforcement in creating tools and disk encryption products to help the police and field agents secure their files and computers. He designed a disk encryption software called Encryption for the masses, like E4M. ENCODE formed the foundation of TrueCrypt, one of the most secure and widely used encryption programs, until it was abandoned by its anonymous creator in 2014. The book, entitled The Mastermind, detailed that Le Roux's career was marked by technical brilliance and almost surreal levels of criminality. The author of that book was Ivan Ratliff. This is what he said about this Paul Le Roux character. Now, in approximately 2004, in the year 2004, he started a criminal US online pharmacy business called RX Limited, and that is what brought him to the attention of the federal agents. He was arrested in a sting operation orchestrated by the US Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA, back in 2012. His online pharmacy was a global criminal empire, trafficking in drugs, arms, and violence. Now, as part of his cooperation agreement, Le Roux admitted to ordering at least 7 murders in the Philippines, guys. This dude had hitmen. 7 people died because of him. So he must have been like a kingpin or something, including the kidnapping and execution of a real estate agent named Catherine Lee. Man, this dude's life is like a movie. The publication noted, upon his release, he is expected to be deported to the Philippines, where he faces charges related to an arms shipment intercepted by the government in 2009. So he's serving currently 25 years in Manhattan, US. When he gets out, he's got some more charges to face in the Philippines, and he's planning to get out. Good luck with that. He's claiming to create a mining business and design ASIC miners when he gets out. And from the looks of this article, when he gets out, they're going to send him to the Philippines to face more charges. And he currently has 25 years, which he has served 8 years out of that already. So for those of you who don't know this guy, a year ago, an article was published about him. And this is it right here. This is about a year ago. New evidence suggests Satoshi Nakamoto is Paul Solotshi, the creator of encryption software E4M and TrueCrypt. So look at his middle name right here. Solotshi. Sounds familiar? Solotshi, Satoshi. So this is one of the reasons why a lot of people are claiming that he is Satoshi. And he's got a background in encryption and designing chips. This is him writing in the year 2002. He said, I have this idea of a future virtual peer-to-peer banking, a kind of decentralized and secure system. Now, this is crazy. This guy has an idea of a future with a peer-to-peer banking system, guys. If you read the Bitcoin white paper, you would understand what peer-to-peer banking system, a kind of decentralized and secure system. This is what he wrote back in 2002, a 46-year-old criminal mastermind. The cryptography encryption software Satoshi Nakamoto likely used to lock up his 1 million BTC, an author of an uncannily similar manifesto to one of the Bitcoin's white papers in 1998. Now, this is crazy, guys, because when Satoshi created Bitcoin, he mined 1 million of them, and apparently he locked it into an encryption that only he holds the keys, guys. But that 1 million BTC is not moving and is still staying intact. So these guys are claiming that this guy, because he's got a background in encryption and created TrueCrypt and E4M softwares and all of this stuff, this is what he might have used to lock up his 1 million BTC until he gets out of jail. But that's not all. Paul Solotshi Le Roux employs similar spelling and language in his writing style to that of Satoshi Nakamoto. He is interested in gambling. Bitcoin's initial code had a poker client included in it. C++ source code, guys. And what's more, that he's been in jail since 2012. That's probably the reason why his 1 million BTC hasn't moved yet. So this guy may be locked in an encryption, hasn't moved it since. On top of that, the documents included in this article shows a connection of Craig Stephen Wright. We're going to get to him in a minute, to Paul Solotshi. The identity of Satoshi Nakamoto is perhaps the most enduring mystery of our modern times. It is long been speculated as the who, he, she, or they, but not to avail. Long-standing mystery remains. Now, he was a real-life James Bond villain behind a cocaine gun empire spanning 4 continents, who's turned a super snitch. This is one of his many passports, and you can clearly see the name Solotshi, which sounds extremely similar to Satoshi. Now, evidence number 2, he is a brilliant programmer and he is familiar to the C++ source code. So is Satoshi Nakamoto. So, as previously mentioned, in 1997, he began working on E4M encryption for the masses, which is a software capable of encrypting entire disks with an option for plausible deniability, denying the existence of an encrypted volume. Moreover, Le Roux published a kind of manifesto that expressed, back then, ideals strikingly similar to those of Satoshi Nakamoto. So he was writing white papers way back in 1997. As far as 2002, he wanted to create a peer-to-peer system already. So he's still protecting his BTC. Around 2011, Le Roux began to disappear for long periods of time, which none of his employees knowing his whereabouts. As US authorities was closing in on him, Le Roux took up to temporary residence in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil and planned his move there. So Le Roux's disappearance coincides with Satoshi's disappearance back then, indicating yet another strong parallel between the two. So a curious post from the year 2002, 7 years before Bitcoin was created, may have been written by Le Roux. In a forum post from 2002, somebody posted something that sounds a lot like an early ideal of Bitcoin. This is suspected to be Le Roux. He said, I have this idea with a virtual peer-to-peer banking, a kind of decentralized system. Gone would be the times that governments and banks can track and interfere with our money transfer, or even interfere with the total amount of money on Earth. My envisioned system would have a fixed total amount of money, but each money unit says a virtual coin is divisible indefinitely. This is Bitcoin, guys. He goes on to say, so a kind of deflation would replace inflation. The total value of the money in the world would be a fixed number. It poses no problem for liquidity because the currency can be divided anytime. However, maybe people will not spend their money as much because its value will increase often. Other problem raises in the areas of security, malicious use, and how to come towards such a system from current systems. These are just ideas. I like to hear comments or about net resources on this subject. Now, is that Satoshi? Was that Satoshi who was writing this? This was written way back in 2002, guys. So for example, in 2009, when Satoshi was refining Bitcoin, Le Roux was already establishing himself as a cartel boss and is known to have been drug smuggling and gun running. How would Satoshi be able to do all of this while starting a forum and answering noobs' questions about Bitcoin? That's a good question. You can't be running a drug operation smuggling business and be busy writing codes at the same time, answering questions online, writing white papers. Therefore, one could argue that Craig Wright's claim to an association with Le Roux are completely fabricated in an effort to show that he was connected with the origins of Bitcoin. After all, Wright doesn't have the best reputation in the crypto space. That is true. And a few aside from Calvin Ayre believe a word he says. So including claims that he created Bitcoin and is Satoshi Nakamoto, which we all know is ridiculous. Craig Wright is not Satoshi. Therefore, everything Wright says must be rigorously fact-checked and treated with caution. And that's the guy, Paul Le Roux Solotshi. He could be him. He's got a background. He's a genius. And they used him in a lot of operations. I say, and yet another Satoshi candidate, guys. And on that note, let me know who Satoshi could be. If you like the content, please don't forget to leave a like, share, subscribe for some more daily crypto bangers. I've been your boy Nakamoto Crypto, and I'm out.
Bitcoin under $8,000.
Buy it.
Bitcoin under $5,000.
Buy it.
Bitcoin over $10,000.
Buy it.
Bitcoin is over $20,000.
Buy it.
Bitcoin under $8,000.
Buy it.
Bitcoin under $5,000.
Buy it.
Bitcoin is over $10,000.
Buy it.
Bitcoin is over $20,000.
Buy it.
Best performing asset in the last 10 years. True. Look into crypto, we need volunteers. No need to tiptoe, it won't disappear. Do your research, history made it clear.